What up, guys? So, gonna hop on another movie review here. So, yesterday I went to go see the this new creature feature horror film called Primate. I saw it in the movie theater. Give you guys a little background. I know there's a for the longest time we've had complaints about movie theaters and people who don't respect movie theater. I would say maturity, politeness. You know, and people who like to talk through the movie, be on their phone, you know, I haven't experienced that in a very long time. I'm very iffy about what movies I go to see at what time. Not there's films I definitely want to see in theater. There's other films I'm like, you know what, that can wait on streaming. I will tell you this one. The review. I know when I saw the trailer, I was already sold. Every movie critic that I follow and take serious from YouTube to TikTok are all saying this is surprise because usually January is the month where all the trash horror films come out, like the throwaways, and they're saying this is a standout. This is so a lot of fun. So I went for it. I tend to go to matinees. There's a town about 15 minutes from where I live called Owasso, and the AMC theater. It's not as I would tell you, man, it's definitely like your typical small town movie theater. There's no IMAX. Uh, the screen is not as big as you would if you went. Now, if I went now here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where I live, if I went to like the big AMC, for one, I'd be paying double what I pay here in the small town of Owasso. So I also can go see a matinee. Like tickets for this was like $6, but the sound and screen quality is good enough for this. Now, if it's like a new action movie, like if it's like the new Batman or the new Superman movie or Marvel, what have you, yeah, I'm gonna go see that in the IMAX. I'm gonna go see that in the if I went to go see the new Avatar, which I've I don't really have any interest in it. I'm kind of over the whole Avatar hype. But if I were to go see that, I would want to because of the way it's filmed and presented. I would want to see that in the actual setting it should, which would be the big IMAX screen. So I'd pay a little extra to see that if I was interested in that. So on with the review. Went to go see Primate. I will say this. Uh, they do start off. It starts off good. It doesn't. It gives you a quick little intro, and it gives you some pretty wild gore. Um, so the movie is, these girls. I'm guessing they're either in high school and college, and they're going to see I guess this main girl, Lucy, I believe was her name, and she's taking some of her friends, and then she's going to visit her sister and her dad, who live in Hawaii. They have this big, big, nice house out in the middle of Hawaii. Um, so so they go do that. The father is deaf, so they can only communicate through sign language. And we have a pet chimpanzee named Ben, and he's so cute and all this kind of stuff. Well, something happens where which it happens very early in the film, and then it gets now there is a little narrative intro before the movie starts that tells you what's really happening. So, um, rape basically Ben gets rabies from some other creature, and that causes him to become extremely rageful. And so that's kind of what happens. I mean, this is not like this is not like a very deep movie. I would actually say in a lot of cases, I can't really tell if it's just in some cases kind of poorly written when it comes to the characters. I will say this: I didn't care for most of the characters. Lucy, some of her friends, the first guy that comes in, total douche. He does nothing. So once goes ape shit, no pun intended, he tends to make situations worse. And as far as I'm concerned, guy got what was coming to him. Then there's two other guy characters who clearly you could tell by the dialogue that that they're like, let's make these guys the biggest douchebags alive. So the film does set up, and then there's another girl. She was a fucking bitch. So it was really hard to sympathize with her. There's only one girl character that gets demolished that I kind of felt that I didn't want to happen. I didn't feel like she did anything, but you have to have that. And I feel like that's what the film did lack is you didn't really give us characters that really cared about other than a few. I would say the one I really cared about, that I didn't want to see any demise. It was definitely the father. I, I like how they played off his hearing impairment, because everything's silent, so you know what he's hearing, which is nothing, and they played that off very well in this film. The highlight of this film is Ben just going crazy. There's some great suspense in this film, and the gore is top, chef's kiss. Very brutal. Um, and yeah, you get a lot of dumb moves are made. Like this, like one of the girls gets her leg chewed, and the first thing they do is go into the pool because champs can't swim. So he says. I haven't looked it up, so I don't know. I didn't do any research on that, whether it is true or not. But he never jumped into the pool, so well, I don't know. So I'm not a veterinarian, so to speak. But yeah, and it's like, and then they were like, and then someone picks up that he probably has rabies. Okay, so he just bit her leg, and then all of you jump in the pool where her blood is swimming everywhere. So, I mean, uh, I know there wasn't much choice in the matter. I do like the hopelessness, that theme of hopelessness they threw with her in the pool, and there's nowhere to go because Ben is out there and he is rageful. Now let's talk about some parts of this movie that I started to kind of question the reality that was happening. Um, well, okay, so they it was clear that they did train Ben to kind of be like them, like the father was able to do communicate with him through sign language. But there's a scene where he picks up an iPad and it goes Ben. He hits the button. It says death, death. And then there's a scene he looks at Lucy and he hits the button, goes, Lucy, bad. And it's like, how does he know that kind of language, that kind of English language or something like that? And I don't recall. It would have made sense if they utilized that early in the film. And I remember seeing that in the trailer, and I thought maybe early in the film that they are teaching him how to communicate in English language by using the iPad where they could communicate his thoughts and feelings. Maybe they did. They cut out the film. I mean, I didn't go for a bathroom break, and because I was remember seeing the iPad. I don't recall them. They didn't utilize it till later, so I felt like there was a missing opportunity where that probably would have made more sense to me. Also another scene where a girl tries to get away in her car, and then she finds out she got the wrong keys to the wrong car, and she tries to sneak out, and then bends right out. And anyway, I'm not trying to spoil nothing because that was actually a really good scene. Anyway, so I'll just stop right there, and it's slightly in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. That's not a spoiler. Was I hope not. But there are like a scene or two where he knows it's like he is, knows what to do, knows what's going on. And I'm like, how does he know that? So there are certain elements in this film where that I found unrealistic, but they work for the film. And films such as this, and I'm real big on some films are just they're not meant to be realistic. They're meant to entertain. And so you're gonna have those. So I let that go. But man, was so many dumb decisions made. There is one scene. Okay, there is one scene. This is not a spoiler. There is one scene where they're sneaking into the house to try and get the phone so they can call for help. And then her foot accidentally hits the TV remote. TV remote Comes on, TV's loud as fuck. Obviously, that just triggered fucking Ben, and they know he's coming for him. And the whole time, I'm like, shut the TV off, grab it and shut it off. And they're letting it go and they're freaking out. And I'm like, how did you even step on that? You just bend down and pick up the phone? How did your foot touch the just certain conveniences, or in their case, inconveniences that kind of got played out that I'm like, really? I don't know. I don't know what to say. Anyways, those are just little nitpicks. Overall, I would say it's not really a good, good movie, but it is a fun, entertaining film, and I would see it again. So I will say that. So it's kind of a double edged sword, but I will say I had fun throughout the film. There's just a lack of likable characters, but that's a horror film for you, is it not? Um, so anyways, that's all I got on this. Like I said, I had fun. I had a fucking blast. I hope I hope this film does well. I do like it. I do have a feeling. I will say this: depending on its success, I will not doubt they'll do a sequel. I will not doubt that this will be a franchise. I don't know if they're going to keep the killer chimpanzee a thing if they continue with sequels, or are they going to do different animals. So, anyways, guys, that's all I got for this review. Keep it coming. You guys have a good day.